Can you believe that we are in module 3 already? This semester is just flying by. Maybe not for you. It is for me. And we've really covered some challenging topics already in this course. We've talked about problem solving and inductive reasoning. We've talked about sets and deductive reasoning. We've really sort of laid the foundation for a lot of what's to come, particularly the sets, the idea of having sets, because in the coming weeks, we are going to investigate sets of numbers, different types of numbers, and the properties that they have, and the things you're able to do with them. But it all kind of comes back to that idea of sets. There, of course, a lot to do in this upcoming module. So let's dive in and take a look right away. And where are we? There we are. So in Blackboard, we've done module 1, we've done module 2. We are now moving into module 3. And there are 4 different sections in your textbook for module 3. So what I've done is I've actually broken it up into 2 different weeks. Module 3, we're going to cover the first 2 sections. And when we move into module 4, we'll cover the next 2 sections. Module 3 is all about whole numbers. And the first 2 sections focus on numeration systems and addition and subtraction. The numeration system, I think, is a fun one. We look at how ancient civilizations might have sort of invented and created their own number systems and how they thought about numbers, there were similarities to how we think about numbers, but also some major differences. Being able to really dig into that really helps you appreciate our number system and understand it better. What do we have in Module 3? An introductory video, of course. There are supplementary PowerPoint slides. Of course, these are optional. But again, starting in this module, I've really started to, I think you'll find them more useful maybe now. I really started to structure more of the lectures around the slides, right? They might line up a little bit better. If you're someone who likes to print that out, right? Like these could really help to watch the videos along with having those slides. And what I always used to even do is print them out in 6 slides per page. It's just a guide for as I'm watching the video, then I've got those slides to look at too. Again, they're just there for your benefit. There is, of course, a smart book, which is just over those first 2 sections in chapter 3. For this section, we're going to be using base 5 and base 10 piece yourself. Again, if you don't have your manipulative kit yet, you can print out these and cut them out. It's a little tedious, but it will be helpful. I also included a link to, and I'll demonstrate that in one of the videos. I just wanted to point that out here. It's an online tool where you can move things around with your mouse, and that might be helpful for you to really understand this a little bit better. As always, there's a discussion board post for this week. But again, this one, it's all about, again, reflecting, but I do ask you a different question, a slightly different question on this one. Than what I did about the reflection piece. I ask you to reflect on what you learned about specifically those numeration systems, Egyptian, Roman, Mayan, Babylonian. Specifically, how do those systems highlight the importance of place values, and how can understanding them help elementary students grasp our base 10 system a little bit better? Again, you're going to be learning about how ancient cultures kept track of numbers and then comparing that to how we keep track of numbers today. So start thinking about that question before you even get too far into the chapters or the videos. So then section 3.1, as I said, we'll cover those ancient numeration systems. There are 4 videos labeled A, B, those are out of order, A, B, C, and D. For section 3.2, we now are talking about addition and subtraction. Okay, kind of the foundation of the things that you imagine you start to do in some elementary schools, but understanding really foundational ideas about what that even means. There are also 4 videos there for you to watch. Again, I may have mentioned this before, but often when I used to have to watch videos in courses, I'd pull that up on YouTube and I would change it to 1.25 speed or sometimes even 1.5 speed, if that just helps you get through those faster. Whatever you want is great. Pause, slow down when you might need to rewatch something. But again, that's just a tip. That's something that I often did. Um, Once you complete those, you're going to work on that chapter 3, part 1 homework assignment covering those first two sections. Finally, we see our first talk about a competency test. Now, you're not doing that this week, but I'm giving you some information so you can start preparing for that first competency test. Remember, there are going to be 5 of those in total. To earn credit for your test, you need to demonstrate mastery, which means I know how to do this frontwards and backwards. I've mastered it. And you do that by scoring at least 90% on the test. You will have 3 chances, 3 opportunities to take each one. The first one is going to cover multi-digit multiplication and multi-digit division. We're going to be reviewing some of those concepts in Module 4 next week, and that's when that first competency test will open. It'll be on Thursday, I believe Thursday of that week. To help you start preparing for that now, just to give you a heads up, I've provided the information. I've included, there's a practice test, so you can kind of see what that is going to look like. I've also put in, and I'll do this for all of them moving forward, links to Khan Academy. If you've never used that, right, it's an online resource. Practice sets for multiplication and division. If you click on one of these links, it's going to take you directly to practice problems that are very similar to those that are on your actual test. You can solve the problems, type in your answer. If you're struggling, they actually have more videos with explanations or worked out solutions. You can restart those practice tests as many times as you want to get some fresh problems. Again, your test will be 10 questions. You'll have to get 9 of them right. So just practice, practice, practice on these until you consistently get 10 correct in a row for both. And again, you don't have to do that this week. I just want to provide that to you now so you can start preparing for next week. And I'll have a lot more information about that competency test once we get into Module 4. So that is everything for Module 3. Best of luck as you work through that, and we will talk soon.